Hi, so day two of Money 2020, how is it going for you, Dmitrii?
A lot of meetings, a lot of potential clients, partnerships, interests, explanations.
Tell us a bit about yourself as well as Salt Edge.
Based on Saltage, we are doing open banking in general. We help, from one side, banks to be in compliance with regulation by providing open banking KPIs towards third parties. And from another side, we help third parties to connect to other banks' APIs to get unified way of doing this thing in secure, easy as possible and maintainable way.
Okay, and who would be the typical clients?
Banks themselves, account information service provider, payment initiation service provider, e-wallets, sometimes merchant, large one.
Okay, so one.
Yes.
Got it. And how did you get started?
We have started in 2013 with an idea to make this happen even before open banking starts as an board and the regulation like the PSD2 takes an effect. So we have started by aggregation of financial data in European countries, so we can provide the service to money management application, lenders and so on, so they can consume financial information like history of transaction, balances, make some decisions, suggest some improvements and so on. And it was the main idea to build it in a simple, secure way.
Okay. And how did you fund the startup? Did you finally raise financing or?
Not. We have started as a bootstrap company, so we have a loan to the company, and that's all for now.
Awesome. Okay. And what are the plans for the next 1 to 3 years for Salt Edge?
For this year, we are extremely focusing on the European Union because we have a huge queue of connecting of different banks API in different levels. For next year, we plan to expand to Asia and Pacific region and to go to South America, and maybe during this time it will be open banking regulation in the US as well.
Awesome. Which brings me to a related question. So, outside of this PSD2 API, you may include this as well, but what would you see as 2 or 3 of the mega trends in the European financial services? And which ones in particular do you see as being exported to the rest of the world, as you said,
like
to
open
Asia,
banking,
to the US?
yes.
Yeah.
Open banking, I think, is the main one export potential.
Okay.
Because like it's adopted already in Australia, New Zealand, in Mexico, in Singapore, in Japan, and so on and so forth. The second one will be the strong customer authentication, because like open banking without strong customer authentication doesn't make a lot of sense, unfortunately. So, and security of payments of financial data is the second trend. The third trend, I think, it's data ownership, or GDPR in this case, like who is the owner of the data, what should be done with the data, who are mandated and have a consent to access to the data processes, and so on and so forth.
So you are basically saying, in a way, the conservativeness of European Union or the regulatory constraints are actually creating an opportunity.
Yes, like it's about who is the owner. Like usually when we have approached the bank, like 5 years ago, for example, they said us that they owner of the end customer data, like history of transactions and so on, and we have argued, but this data, like it's like a money belongs to a person or a business, not to you as a bank, and the information about the money and transaction history belongs as well to the business or person, not to the bank.
Right.
You are just storing this information. And this is like a shift in the vision. It was finalized maybe 2 or 3 years ago, but it was from the beginning not so clear in Europe. So right now we have the same situation in Asia, in America, and so on. It's shift of the mind. The data is not belongs to the holder of the data. It belongs to the owner of the data.
Excellent. So on the last note, so having been on the market now and with some success already, what would your lessons be to startups or founders which are starting out now or are just 1 or 2 years into the game?
I think the main suggestion is to trying to solve the problems that is not yet exist. So it will exist in 5 years time. So if you start to solve problems that already exist, somebody maybe already is doing this, somebody maybe is already on the final stage, and so on and so on. And usually you will have not enough time to complete it in this case. So if you try to solve problems that will happens in 3-5 years, then you have enough time to prepare yourself, to build the product, prototype, to have build relationship, partnerships, and so on and so on. So it is quite important in this case.
Excellent. Great. Thank you so much for your time, Dmitry. Pleasure meeting you, and have a nice rest of the event.
Thank you.